I've talked about change being a complex process for myself, and this visual really shows some of that complexity. At the center of this visual is the idea of change, and change requires learning. Change requires the uprooting of patterns of my own life. It has required looking at things from new perspectives. This visual gets at some of those complex processes for you to consider. Think about the fact that new information is part of change. We've talked about success and failure being part of change. They are integral to the change process. You can't know success without knowing failure, and you can't build success without understanding your failures. These two, success and failure, they are always integral to what I am doing to make the changes and sustain the changes in my life. And then there's grace and accountability. I regret more than 5 decades of my life around eating when hungry. I wish I could have lived my life at a healthy weight. It was always something I wanted for myself. But if I live in that regret, I don't enjoy the moment. And grace is required for those moments. We have to live looking forward and in the moment without spending too much time in the past. However, that past can inform the present and the future. And so finding that balance between grace and accountability becomes really important. For my own world, I try to use grace for the past, a combination of grace and accountability in this moment. And as I look to the future, I look more to accountability, knowing full well that there will be fallibility in my actions, that I will not always meet my expectations of the moment. And this is the delicate dance that takes place. It's a really intricate dance of how we get ourselves through change, but it's a really important dance. And when you figure out how to work with yourself, some of the steps and patterns are repeated over and over again. And there's comfort in that. And that is part of what builds the platform for change. And so as you think about this, you want to have a growth mindset because you're going to be changing. You're going to be embracing new realities for yourself. The process of growth is sometimes uncomfortable. And so all of this is part of the change process. And it may look different in terms of the details for you, but there's a lot to think about here. And there's a lot of things to apply to your own life as you reflect on where you are now and where you want to go in the future.